So the funny thing is I used to think Grand Rising came from the Illuminati, and the Illuminati was so evil, and oh my god, but actually, what I'm seeing as evil is like Christianity. And the only reason why I speak on Christianity, you guys, is because I was a Christian. I grew up with Christians. That's the only people, like, I was, again, really around was a lot of Christian people for a majority of my life, except for portions of my life in high school. That's where I was not religious at all, like, at all. I was living the life, just doing what I wanted. One of my best friends was actually a Muslim, and I didn't even know what Muslim was at the time. I had no idea. We didn't talk about religion. We talked about our home lives. We talked about our lives. We got to know each other. We didn't, you gotta worship this person, talk about this all the time, just talk about religion. Like, no, we talked about ourselves and each other and, like, got to know each other. So, don't allow religion to divide you up, because we're all humans. It's literally just an ideology. Like, religion is a psychological warfare. It's an ideology. And what I believe the Bible is actually talking about is a cosmic event, which is playing out right now. We are shifting from the age of Pisces, which was the age of Jesus, Jesus and Mary. I call it Jesus because I like it better. And the letter J wasn't even invented until 1524. So it's a story. It's a cosmic event. It's a story that the Bible's talking about. And there are books that have been removed. Jesus was a mystic, and his divine flame partner was Mary Magdalene. And I do believe they had kids together. Like, I do believe this. Like, there's other stories that are removed. And the Christians, like, oh, no, that's not true. Oh, if it's not in the Bible, we can't trust it. If it's not in the Bible, I only trust one book, blah, blah. Well, the King James Version, like, do you know where that translation came about or why it came about? Like, you have all these kings and evil people who have done evil things to their people, creating translations for you to read. And other religions, too, who have treated their kids awful. I mean, I have heard stories of people of Jehovah's Witness. Like, they're scared of the Jehovah's Witness for even speaking out against the abuse they saw growing up. You hear of kids who Jehovah's Witness can't celebrate Halloween or anything else. So while all these kids are dressing up and getting candy and going into parades at elementary school, they're stuck in a classroom alone, sitting there lonely, all alone as a kid, because their religion says they can't participate in something. As a kid, how damaging. I think a lot of people my age are starting to wake up and see, wait a second. The way our parents raised us, the things that we saw and witnessed, maybe are not the correct way. Not allowing your kids to have emotions, right? If you don't stop crying, I'll give you a reason to cry. I mean, how many of us have heard that? Yes, when my child cries, it irritates me. Like yesterday, she cried for a long time, and even Andrew was like, oh, you're crying more than Boyan. And it's like, we shouldn't even make fun of people for crying. We should, like, sit there with them. Like, I took her downstairs, right? And we sat down there. I sat down there with her while she cried. I didn't abandon her and be like, oh, her crying's irritating me. You let me know when you're done crying. Like, sometimes I have done that, and I feel bad afterwards. So yesterday, I went down and I sat with her in the room. And she sat on the floor and she cried, and I just sat there with her. And when she was ready, she came up and she sat on my lap and we snuggled for a while. There's a lot going on in Abeline's life. She has a new brother. There's a new, like, man in her life now, partner, right? Like Andrew, like, there's a lot of changes happening in her life. And even my friend's son the other night, he fell down and he was crying really hard, like, a lot. And, like, even Andrew felt bad because they raced and he tripped, whatever. And I was like, it's not about that, Andrew. I was like, I think it's deeper. There's other stuff going on in his life right now that my friend confided in me about. And I think that's why he's crying so hard, is that it's, like, hitting him now. Like, now that he has an outlet to cry, he's crying. And, like, that's how I view and perceive things. I break down why this child is having this emotion, rather than getting frustrated and not being able to handle it and my irritations overpowering a child's. I try to meet them at their level. And a lot of Christians don't do this. They want their children, because I witnessed this. I'm a witness, right? A lot of Christians, you have to dress this way, you have to wear your hair this way. Oh, you have to be like this. You have to do it this way. Oh, that's gross. Oh, we don't talk like that. We don't touch ourselves there. We don't do that. It's just constantly telling your children and shaming them on what they should do and what they shouldn't do and blah, blah, blah. And another thing I want to get into is Christianities and their vanity. How many moms won't go in the pool with their kids or swim with their kids or jump in the water because they don't want to ruin their hair and makeup? So many Christians are like this. And I was kind of like this. I was like, oh, I just washed my hair. I don't want to get it wet. But I'd ask myself, Stephanie, is your hair more important than your child's happiness? No, it's fucking not. Get the fuck in the pool and play with your kid. Okay? Like, that was, like, my mind. Like, it was like, my God, not Jesus, not some man in the sky, my God, because we each have our own like consciousness that is speaking to us and telling us right and wrong. Like, hey, that's not right. Hey, we shouldn't do like that. Oh my gosh, I really missed the mark on that one. I shouldn't have acted that way. That to me is like God. It's your consciousness telling you what you're doing wrong. And there's a lot of Christians coming out. I just watched a girl's video yesterday who, she was a member of a church, and she was the problem. She said, she's like, I was the problem. I was being mistreated, so I mistreated others. And a lot of people are answering to themselves right now. Like, the biggest awakening you can go through is to yourself and how you're treating others and how you're treating your children. What your thoughts are. Like, your thoughts are very, very powerful, and all you're focusing on is politics and religion and Jesus and whatever religion it is. It's Muslim, it doesn't matter what it is. I have seen bad behaviors from all religions. So just because somebody claims to be this righteous person does not make them a righteous person. I've seen a lot of nasty behaviors from Christians. Like, I just play it out in my head, and I'm just like, oh my God. And like, when I was at the church, like, I was a single mom tithing my money, not able to move out of my dad's house, but I thought, oh, I'm blessed to be a blessing, right? So I felt like if I didn't tithe, like, God was going to punish me. Like, that's how I felt being in the church. I thought if I masturbate, God's going to punish me. If I have sex, God's going to punish me. I can't live with somebody before I'm married because God's going to punish me. That's what the church makes people feel. And so you have a lot of young people who, before they even get to know themselves, are getting married way too young. And then they're stuck in these relationships where it's like, that's not the person you're meant to be with, maybe. And you have a church that tells you, oh, just stay with your abusive partner. Divorce isn't an option. That's sinful. And like, people who have divorced have been exiled from the church. So how is that a place of love? That is not loving to me. And like, with Catholicism, like, Christianity is a new age of Catholicism. Like, Catholics are like, oh, you got to go to your priest and ask for forgiveness. And now it's like, oh, you got to seek guidance from your pastor. How about you listen to your own intuition, your own God, and listen to what it's telling you? Because not everyone's lives are meant to be the same. And these churches are making money off people. Have you ever seen Robin Hood? Like, I'm looking at Robin Hood and I'm like, oh my God, what? Like, maybe these movies are trying to tell us something. We are under some kind of psychological control, and it's Christianity, it's Muslims, it's Buddha. It doesn't matter what religion it is. It's all religion, and it's all doing the same thing. It's like mass manipulating people, and the behaviors I have seen are less than loving. Like, even what happened to Andrew. Like, right, his dad and wife are Christians, and his sister's a Christian, and his sister says in court, we're Christians, we would never do this. But they have completely destroyed Andrew's life. Completely. They abused the system. They abused me through the system. They harassed me. They defamed my character. They defamed Andrew's character. They crucified him. And then they got this, they said he's having grandiose ideas and delusional thoughts in the civil commitment, which isn't true at all. I've been a witness to Andrew. The reason why they're saying that is because they want them to believe that Andrew is making it up about his mom being poisoned. But like, I believe it. Like, after what I've seen in the statements that Andrew has shared with me, I believe his mom was poisoned. And I believe his mom was actually going to go to the hospital because she told Andrew it felt like she was being poisoned. And his dad took 2 weeks off before this happened. And I told Andrew, I was like, because her body was on the floor. I said, Andrew, I said, maybe your dad smothered her. Maybe the poison wasn't working quick enough and he smothered her. Like, that's what I think, because the body was on the floor. And his dad says, I'm trained in CPR. You have to move the body. But his and when you look up CPR, okay, you're not supposed to move the body, actually. You are not supposed to move the body. His dad also says in a phone call, I have a recording, Officer Larson was never at his house during the death of his wife, but he's on the police report. So there's just like things that have come out that his father has said that make me believe this. And the fact that no law enforcement from Rosemount, Michael Dahlstrom, who's incompetent and needs to be replaced at the Rosemount Police Department. Again, a lot of reasons why I don't trust Christians is because a lot of them are police officers, they're teachers, they go to these schools, they cover up crimes for each other. Andrew told me a lot about his history and a lot of the crimes for his family that have been covered up, and that they never got in trouble. Like, they never got minors like my friends did, right? Underage drinking. They didn't get expelled or suspended for the same things others would get suspended or expelled for. Like, they just got to live the high life, like kingdom, like a king, you know? That's not the way our society is supposed to be working. And there's like, these groups are everywhere. It's not just like Andrew's family. It's like in the church, right? The pastor's families, they can get away with stuff. Things get hushed under the rug, right? Because they don't want you to know the truth about their kids and their lives and what they're doing. I have seen the way these Catholic boys act. It's these Catholic boys too, like with my past relationships, that like, I don't know what happened in these churches to them as kids, or their families or whatever, but it's these narcissistic men who try to put you down and degrade you, probably because their moms did to them, because, oh, you're not acting the right way, you're in church, stop moving around, stop playing around, just like yelling at their children all the time because they're not acting how they want them to. And then they try to treat women that way. They try to like control women that way. So it's like this projection of like what they went through. And that's why it's so important to face yourself. And in Christianity, you're not facing yourself. You're worshiping another man, which is idolatry. You're worshiping the image of man, which is idolatry. You are participating in a demonic ritual of eating the body and drinking the blood. Like, what? Of a baby, and it's all about a baby, right? Like, the whole thing, when you look at what religion has, how they've manipulated people, and like what you're believing and what you're doing and how you're treating others is really the biggest thing. Is how are you treating others? And how I was treating others was unkind. I was kind to a lot of people, but like I had this like judgment inside my body where in my head I would judge, and I'm like, and I literally immediately my God would be like, Stephanie, why are you judging that right now? Like, take a look at yourself. Like, I was immediately shown myself. That to me is God. And I was doing a lot of that in church. I noticed myself judging a lot of people in the church where I was like, well, Stephanie, like, what are you doing? It brings out a negative energy in you. And it's like, oh, we're Christians. Oh, I worship Jesus. Oh, well, if you just follow Jesus, oh, just come to my church. Just all this like condescending, like the comments I have read from Christians. I have been crucified by the Christians, like from being a content creator. My old Facebook page, which just got hacked. They were like, they screenshot. I was having like downloads. Like I was like getting all these like very profound messages, and I was sharing them on my Facebook page, and I was using scripture with my messages, and all these Christians were screenshotting me, posting me in these pages, and they're like, oh, she's demonic, she's the Illuminati, she's like just the meanest names about me. And I was like, and then I had people messaging me, like, telling me, like, hey, just so you know, I did see, like, your page in here. And, like, honestly, I see what you're talking about. Like, people thankfully reach out and say, like, I see what you're talking about. Like, yeah, so it made me feel good. At least I was, like, somebody was listening or whatever. Like, and if anything, here's the way I looked at it, too. Is whenever someone speaks bad about me or shares my content anywhere, I'm like, all you're doing is giving me more power. Thank you. Thank you. You're giving me more power. My name has more power because of it. Because we are all powerful beings, right? Like, your image is important. The way you present yourself is important. I do believe that, which is why Christians, whatever, force their children to dress a certain way, and make them act a certain way. But you need to let your kids choose their own wardrobe, okay? Like, all these Christians are like, I would never let my daughter dress up as a boy. I would never let my son dress up as a girl. If they're just trying to be funny and, like, they want to put their mom's lipstick on or whatever, it's funny, it's cute, it's innocent. They don't know any better. You're the one who's making it a big deal. You're the one who's turning it into a big issue. When you're like, oh, that's inappropriate. Oh, this gay stuff, they're going to be gay. They're going to be that. No, listen. Usually, when your kid's a kid, like, they know when they're going to be gay or not. If they are gay, who cares? Why are you so worried if your kid is gay? What, are you going to love them less? A lot of Christians have. A lot of Christians have, like, disowned their children because of who they love. Right? And, like, I even, from a Christian in my family, was told that gay men are equal to two goats fucking. And I said, what? That is so rude. How could you say that? Like, I was like, a Christian woman said this to me. Someone who I'm supposed to look up to? Huh? Yeah, no. The behaviors I've seen from my Christian family are just like judgment, shame, judgment, shame, judgment, shame, judgment, shame. Why would you want to do that? Don't do that. Like, listen, I'm looking at your guys' lives, and you guys have no right to speak on my life. No right anywhere to speak on my life, and I've seen the things that you guys have done. I see the way that you guys treat people. I see what you treated me. I see what you've treated my partner. Like, why would I want to even be around that kind of energy? I do not. I don't trust it. Now I understand what it means. They say losing my religion, because I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of Christianity. I don't want any part of the society and how they judge and shame people. And if you don't raise kids the same way as them, or if you do something that people don't agree with, it's just like this shame and stones being thrown, and I'm going to call CPS on you, or I'm going to do this. It's just like, shut the fuck up, people. Focus on yourself and your children. Love them fully. And don't worry about what other people are doing. Like, why are we so worried about the world, worldly things, and what the world is doing? Focus on your own world right here. What can I do to make the world better? The song Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson is one of my favorite songs. I'm staring at the man in the mirror. But for me, it's a woman. I'm staring at Stephanie in the mirror. Who do you want to be? How do you want to treat others? What kind of messages do you want to spread? How are you going to lead others? And lead by example. I lead by example. Like, if I get angry in my... Because we're all sinners. We all fall short sometimes. I do get really irritated, and I have had blow-ups where I'm like, oh my God, like this demon comes out of me, and I'm just like screaming and yelling, and I'm like, oh, Stephanie, that is an ugly person. And that one of me has not come out in a long time. But I look at my child, and it's like, oh, she's mirroring my behavior. Like, one thing I used to say to Avalani was, I used to grab her brother because she'd just cry, and it just like irritated me. I'm like, what do you want? I was so like, her crying like was like fucking, made me feel itchy on the inside where I didn't have the patience. I didn't have the patience for it. Okay, I didn't have the patience for it. So I used to grab her by the arms. I'm like, you listen to me. And that's actually funny that I just having this epiphany right now is that my ex-husband actually did it to me. He grabbed my arms in Hawaii and he's like, you listen to me. And so I would do it to Avalani. I grabbed her arms and I was like, you listen to me. And then I watched her do it to her doll. And I was like, that's what actually stopped me in my tracks, made me look at the way I'm raising Avalani, was because I saw how she was treating her dolls. And she had some good moments, but there's some moments that I'm like, oh, she got that from me, and I need to correct. I need to stop the negative things I'm doing and be a better mom, and that's where I had to face myself, and that's what I did these last few years. I was on Adderall, which Adderall is very close to meth. A lot of people these days are on meth because it's cheaper, whatever, but... it was causing me to be very irritable. It was causing me to want to be suicidal and not be here. It was making me so hyper-focused on starting my businesses. I was a serial entrepreneur. Serial entrepreneur is what I was. Constantly starting new businesses. Get bored with one thing, start another. And I watched my dad do the same thing. So it's like we mirror each other's behaviors. So if I can create this huge force field in my family of like love, like where we love ourselves so much that we don't really care what other people say about us. We don't really care the negative comments that are happening. And my child gets a lot of them right now because she can't read like her cousin can, so she must be stupid. But listen, this girl can do way more than her cousin can, okay? She's got street smarts. She's a free thinker. She can stick up for herself. She can do the dishes, she can do laundry, she can cook food, not a lot of food, but she can cook something. She helps make stuff. She's pretty independent. I'm raising an independent child. Have I made mistakes? Absolutely. We all make mistakes. I have made mistakes where, honestly, if I wasn't with the right people, right, that didn't love me and know me, that just had judgment on me, if it was Christian people, they probably could have called CPS on me. The things there's twice where I was with friends that I knew and loved that I passed out while drinking, not like passed out on the floor and everything, but like, you know what I mean? Like I fell asleep and like Avalani was crying the whole night and I didn't wake up, and thank God I had people there who loved me, cared about me, and took care of my kid. And I felt so shameful about that. I felt like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. Like, what an awful mom I am. And I changed. I didn't do that again. I learned from all of my mistakes that I've made being a mom. And you have these Christians, this system, this judicial system, DCF, CPS, Christians coming in, and like because of one mistake a mom makes, or because they don't want their kid on medication, or because of whatever reason that they deem they're an unfit parent, you now have a court system that's coming in and removing these kids. Or like in Andrew's case, like his ex-wife got to go in and claim all these things about Andrew. He's driving high and all these other things, but like she's driving drunk with the kids. He caught her and he tried to call the police and tell the police, and they did nothing about it. So again, when you see the system we're part of, and it's all these Christian people and the things they do and shame and judge others, but what are you doing behind closed doors? Take a look at yourself. Ye are hypocrites. There's a lot of biblical truth that Andrew hates the Bible. He thinks, no, it's written by men, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I agree, Andrew. It was written by men, right? And Christians will say, and Jehovah's Witnesses will say, inspired, but it is inspired by God. Okay. I think the Bible's talking about a cosmic event. I think it's talking about chakras. It talks about crystals and stones. And a lot of these Christians say that goes against the Bible, but it's written in the Bible. Even like Luke 22:10, I believe it is. Jesus talks about meeting the man in the city, or the man at the pitcher, right? The man at the pitcher in the city, Well, if you look up what the chakra is, I think it's your third chakra, which is your sun chakra, or your solar plexus, connects to your heart chakra. And so, when your heart chakra, like your solar plexus is like the sun, like that is like your light, you know, your chakras, and they're all aligned is when you were speaking and connecting to God. But a lot of you don't know what chakras are. That's ancient wisdom, because a lot of Christians will say, oh, she's talking about chakras? That's New Age. Oh my God, she's demonic. Oh my God, she's Illuminati. Oh my God, she's this. She's evil, because I talk about chakras. Chakras are your energy. It's like scientific, like your energetic, like your meridian, like your when they're aligned, you're connected. You are feeling happy. You are feeling blissful in heaven, right? That's what needs to happen, huh, Boyan? We need to align our chakras. We need to align our chakras. The whole world. And now also the whole world needs to try at some point. We need to take away the laws on what people consider drugs, like psychedelics. They're extremely healing. Plant medicine, even in the Bible, Moses talked to the burning bush, right? That's why he spoke to God. Well, what is the burning bush? I think it's the acacia, or I can't remember, cassia. I don't remember what exactly the bush was called, but it was a psychedelic experience. He was having a psychoactive experience, which isn't bad. People think, oh, that's bad. That means that you're crazy. You had a psychedelic experience. You're stupid. No, it actually connects you to your mind. It connects you to your emotions. It makes you see things from a different perspective, which is good. It's good. Because seeing things from a new perspective opens up your mind, and that opens up your heart. So, yeah, these Christians, buddy, we gotta show them love, lead by example, because they are not leading by example. They are very discriminative, very unloving, very unkind. The amount of behavior I saw when I was a Christian conservative in those rallies, the way that grown Christian women, that bitch Stephanie, I was like shocked that I was being talked to with such disrespect by Christian conservative women. My ex-boyfriend's mom, who I thought she loved me, and then come to find out she was fake to me. Like, I hear about a lot in divorces, like, you don't realize how fake the other family was until, like, you get divorced. And I'm like, I see what you're talking about. I was only with my partner for, well, it was longer than 2 years, because we were kind of on and off for, like, since before I dated Villani. And then a couple of years ago, I finally realized this is not a relationship that's making me better. It's making me worse. So I had to get out of it. I don't want anyone riding my coattails, you know? They got to do stuff for themselves. I want an equal partnership. I don't want to be doing all the freaking work and cleaning the house and taking care of everything and, you know, trying to control people. I just want somebody to be an equal partnership to me. And I found that with Andrew. And again, the way that Andrew treats me, the way that I treat him is so respectful. We respect each other's boundaries. We don't try to force and control ourselves. Like, if we do say something, we comment. Like, oh, well, you're Mr. Perfect. Or we both make comments at each other to, like, correct each other. And we don't take offense to it. We're not fighting and bickering and putting each other down. We're constantly laughing, having fun, and, like, figuring out the best ways to, like, raise our children. And we're having intellectual conversations, which a lot of people don't have. You just sit and watch TV, and it's just, like, zoned out in your phone, scrolling. Like, you're not having intellectual conversations about your feelings, about your upbringing, about any of that. Like, it's just all surface level stuff about your job or about, like, your friends. Like, talk about yourself. Talk about your life, your upbringing, how you were raised. Really get to know the people that you're with, the people that you're serving around, because that will help you understand them a lot better than just judging and shaming and you just pass judgment on people that you don't truly get to know. When you understand their story, you understand them, and that opens up your heart, okay? Yeah. And again, I'm not trying to bash Christians, okay? Like, I get what people believe they believe, but I've just seen a lot of nasty behavior. A lot of behavior I don't want anything to do with. I don't want my kids really around that kind of behavior. I want them to be loving and kind. I know, I love yours. I want them to be loving and kind. I want to give them happiness. I don't want them to think that they're less than or not equal to me because they love me so much. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to go play with my little boyons because my kids are more important than you guys. I love y'all, but my kids are more important. Have a great day. Bye-bye.